You know that feeling when you've just outgrown your own life? Like a huge change is on the horizon, but you have no idea how to get from here to there? We hear this term quantum jumping thrown around a lot, usually as some kind of spiritual buzzword. But what if it's not a metaphor? What if it's an actual, repeatable process for making a radical shift in your reality? Okay, let's get into it.
Right off the bat, this is what's so fascinating. It doesn't start with a big bang or a lightning bolt moment. The source material says that the most profound transformations, they actually show up as this quiet, unsettling feeling, a sense of confusion or misalignment. That feeling isn't a sign that things are going wrong, it's the signal that you're about to make a major leap. So our first section really gets to the heart of this. We have to completely reframe the way we think about this. We're moving it out of the category of a nice idea and putting it squarely into practical strategy. Okay, so look at this comparison. On the left, you've got the way most people see it, quantum jumping as a metaphor. Just imagine a better future and hope for gradual change. But the perspective we're digging into today, over on the right, treats it as a concrete process. We're talking about a real, energetic relocation, a discontinuous leap. It's a vibrational strategy. Think of it like this. It's the difference between wishing you lived somewhere else and actually changing your address. And this is the key. The whole thing doesn't ask you to just believe harder that a new reality is possible. No, it requires you to broadcast the signal of that new reality, as if it's already here. You don't have to convince your mind it's real. You just have to change the energetic signal you're sending out.
So, how does a shift like this actually happen? How can you just leap from one reality to another without building some kind of step-by-step bridge? Well, to understand this, the source material gives us a pretty powerful analogy from the world of physics.
In quantum mechanics, an electron doesn't slowly climb its way from one energy level to the next. What happens is it absorbs enough energy, and then it literally disappears from one orbit and reappears in a higher one, instantly. It doesn't travel through the space in between. It's just gone from here, and now it's there. That's not a metaphor, that's just how physics works at that level.
And here's the punchline. The core idea is that we, as energetic vibrational beings, we operate on the exact same principle. We can shift from one state of being, one personal reality, to a completely different one by fundamentally changing our own energy. It's a discontinuous leap.
So this brings the whole big cosmic idea right back down to you right now. It's not about what you want or what you wish for. It's all about the signal you are consistently and often unconsciously broadcasting out into the world. Is it a signal that's tuned to your past, your old anxieties and limitations? Or is it a clear signal of the future you're choosing to live in right now?
Okay, so if it's all about the signal, how do you actually change the station? This brings us to the most practical part of this whole explainer, a 5-step protocol for making a deliberate, conscious shift. All right, let's walk through this. Step 1, that feeling of discomfort, of anxiety, that's not a problem. That's your cue. That's the signal that you're ready to jump. Step 2, you have to interrupt the old emotional pattern. Seriously, physically do something. Change your posture, take a different kind of breath, just break the loop. Step 3 is where the magic happens. Embody the new frequency. For at least 90 seconds, feel the feelings of the future you. Step 4, from that new feeling, take one small action. Not to get the new reality, but because that's what the new you would do. And finally, step 5, the hardest one for most of us, detach. You have to let go of needing to see the results right away.
This is so important to get. The universe, the field, whatever you want to call it, it's not responding to your wish list for the future. It's responding almost like a machine to the signal you are broadcasting in this moment. Your only job is to hold the new signal, to hold that feeling. It's not your job to scan the horizon looking for proof.
Okay, so let's say you do it. You start broadcasting that new signal. What happens next? This is where things can get a little weird, and it's where a lot of people get thrown off because it doesn't always feel good at first.
And here's the great paradox. When you change your vibration, you don't just start pulling in new things. You also start actively pushing away everything and everyone that no longer matches your new frequency. And at first, that can feel like your whole life is falling apart. It can feel like chaos or even loss.
This experience has a name, the void, and it's this really sacred but, yes, sometimes uncomfortable space you're in. It's that in-between moment where your old reality is starting to dissolve, but the new one hasn't fully shown up in the physical world yet.
So, what does this actually feel like day to day? Well, it could show up as relationships suddenly feeling distant or strained. Your job might feel completely foreign, like you don't belong there anymore. Old habits that used to be comforting might now feel toxic. It could be a very lonely time, almost like you're being tested on how serious you are about this new version of you.
But here's the crucial shift in perspective. These are not tests. They're echoes. They're just the echoes of your old frequency bouncing back, asking one last time, hey, are you sure about this? And you don't answer that question with words or by fighting it. You answer it by simply continuing to be, to embody the new signal.
Which brings us to our final and maybe most important section. How do you stay there? How do you anchor this new reality and make that jump stick for good? I love this distinction on the slide between a quantum jumper and a quantum wisher. A wisher sends out a signal and then immediately looks around for proof that it's working. They need that outside validation. But a jumper sends the signal and just stays in it no matter what the outside world looks like. They back their new identity. They become the new reality instead of trying to get it.
You know that old saying, I'll believe it when I see it? The whole quantum approach just flips that completely on its head. The new way of being is I believe it, and that's why I'll see it. The belief, the embodiment of that feeling, has to come first. And really, it all boils down to this. The most powerful, reality-shaping signal you can possibly send out is the unwavering certainty in the version of yourself you've decided to be, even when, and especially when, there is zero external evidence to back you up.
And so, this whole deep dive leaves us with one incredibly powerful question to ask ourselves in any given moment. What are you doing right now? Are you consciously broadcasting the signal of the future you're choosing, or are you just unconsciously rehearsing the emotions and stories of your past? Because the answer to that question, well, it changes everything.